Conservatives have been giddy over the trio of so-called FBI whistleblowers that recently testified before the House Weaponization Committee. Yes, they're trying to find evidence that the government has been weaponized against conservatives, unfairly targeting conservatives, politicians, even the former president, with witch hunt investigations to try to take them down by any means that they're able to do so. You know, the famously leftist FBI. Yeah, I know. Really. Look, if there was such a thing that was that was happening, obviously that would be a huge deal, regardless of whatever administration be, taking part in going after their political opponents with sham investigations, the witch hunts, etc. Now, with that said, the reason that I'm skeptical of this one, there are many different reasons why I'm skeptical of this one, including those who are actually, doing the investigations. People like Jim Jordan, who has his own issues. But hey, some of the details coming out about these alleged whistleblowers, who these people like Jim Jordan and other Republicans in this weaponization committee are, let's just say their credibility is in question. Let's just say that. Now, let me give you some details. Now, this is from reporting both from the New York Times as well as Rolling Stone, and even a Republican source and Democratic source. So, all right. Now, apparently, this is from the New York Times first. The first three witnesses to testify privately before the new Republican-led House committee investigating the weaponization of the federal government have actually offered little firsthand knowledge of any wrongdoing or violation of the law, or that there's any sort of deep state conspiracy against Donald Trump and Republicans. That is likely because anything that you could consider to be the deep state would have been right-wing. Okay, but anyway. Now, according to Democrats in the panel who've listened to their accounts, this is from Luke Broadwater and Adam Goldman writing over at the New York Times. Now, they continue by saying, instead, the trio appears to be a group of aggrieved former FBI officials who have trafficked in right-wing conspiracy theories. Because, of course.
Jewish space lasers.
No, not that one. But there are some conspiracies that they trafficked in, including about January 6th, the attack at the Capitol. And by the way, they had also received financial support from a top ally of former President Donald J. Trump. To which I say,
My.
oh, yes. Well, what a surprise.
Can't let that happen.
Okay. So now, the roster of witnesses whose interviews and statements are detailed in a 316-page report compiled by Democrats that was obtained by the New York Times suggests that Representative Jim Jordan of Ohio, the chairman of the panel, has relied on people so far who don't even meet the definition of a whistleblower and have engaged in partisan conduct that calls into question their credibility.
Really?
Yeah. So let me, let's see, continue to read here. This also raises questions about whether Republicans who have said that investigating the Biden administration is a top goal will be able to deliver on their ambitious plans to uncover misdeeds at the highest levels. Now, who are these three aggrieved former FBI agents? Well, one of them is George Hill, a retired FBI supervisory intelligence analyst from the Bureau's Boston field office. Stephen Friend, arguably not our friend, former special agent, that was terrible, who worked in the Daytona Beach office, and Garrett O'Boyle, a special agent from the field office in Wichita, Kansas, who has been suspended. So those three have promoted different conspiracy theories. Hill had wrote on Twitter that the January 6th attack in the U.S. Capitol was a setup. Yes, definitely a unbiased source there. O'Boyle and friend have admitted to receiving financial aid from none other than Kash Patel, a former aide to Representative Devin Nunes, who now is chief of Truth Social, for as long as that continues to exist.
Truth Central.
They're on wonderful financial ground. In fact, now is the best time to invest in Truth Social. Let me tell you, the best time, the greatest time. There's never been a better time. Please give us your money. I mean, it again, absolute disaster. And not only that, but yes, Devin Nunes is also a Trump associate who was testified in the Mar-a-Lago classified documents case. The Democratic report includes excerpts from depositions and evidence of conspiratorial social media posts. So it also details the ties between Mr. Trump's inner circle and the witnesses. For instance, Mr. Patel found Mr. Friend his next job, working as a fellow on domestic intelligence and security services with the Center for Renewing America, run by Russ Vought. That center is largely funded by the Conservative Partnership Institute, which is run by Mark Meadows, Mr. Trump's former chief of staff and former Senator Jim DeMint of South Carolina. Huh. Oh, look at. I mean, I feel like I need to have like the Glenn Beck style whiteboard to draw these different lines. Like, if anything, it almost feels like I'm talking about a conspiracy theory, but it's not. Again, you have old documents, you have evidence, depositions that are done under oath. So, I mean, there it is. Gee, I wonder if their words can be trusted. These so-called whistleblowers. I would say no. Not at all. Not at all. Now, that said, do I trust the FBI? Also, no. Look, and by the way, the reason that I don't trust the FBI is because of people like these guys who used to work in the FBI. And I'm talking massive right-wingers who apparently were engaged in conspiratorial thinking. Look, the current FBI director is Christopher Wray, who was a Donald Trump appointee and massive right-winger. James Comey, also conservative, massive right-winger. And look, I mean, that's why I don't trust the FBI, because they're full of right-wingers. And so, look, that said, am I saying that that people with certain political leanings can't put aside their biases and effectively do their job? No, I think that's perfectly possible. Of course, right? You can have left-wingers and right-wingers working together, in not in politics, but or anything political, but like just doing their jobs every day in, day in, day out. They do their job, and their political beliefs don't really factor into a lot of these things. Now, sometimes they do. In these cases, especially. I think, though, the majority of people are able to put aside their biases and put their, and not put politics over everything. And now, in this case, however, you have these three people who did choose their personal politics, and they got handily rewarded for doing so by all this conservative right-wing money. Now, that said, Hill, getting back to him, he had already admitted that he had little or no firsthand knowledge of any alleged deep state scandals. Because of course. So look, things are not going well for the Weaponization Committee. I mean, that's not a surprise at all to me, and it shouldn't be a surprise at all to you. We kind of knew this was going to happen. And that's, by the way, not for lack of trying. I mean, look, people like Jim Jordan, and I keep going back to him because he's the head of the committee, he has claimed that he had heard from dozens and dozens of potential whistleblowers about the political nature of the Justice Department. Oh, really? Well, yeah, you're not going to be shocked to what I'm going to say next, but that's after I talk about Iowa Senator Chuck Grassley, who apparently has been covering the expenses of these alleged whistleblowers. Yet, so far, Republicans have brought only 3 of them to Capitol Hill for any sort of questioning under oath, and no others have yet been scheduled. What happened to the dozens and dozens? That would be 2 dozen. Where are they? Are you not? I mean, are you just lying about that? Is that what's going on, Jim Jordan? Oh, Jim Jordan lying? No, of course not. Well, that would never happen. Except that is most likely the case. Look, one Democrat in the committee, and I just love this quote here. He has described the situation as a dumpster fire. Okay, you might say, Democrat. All right, well, there's also a Republican that's on the committee. Guess what he called it? Amateur hour. That same GOP source, by the way, also claimed, this is a great quote. Airing this stuff on live television would make us, the Republican Party, look like morons. To which I say, yes! Because that's what it is. Again, it's moronic. There's never any there. Okay? It's garbage. It's garbage. Now, this garbage, unfortunately, there is a point to having this garbage. Look, this is, of course, we all pretty much predicted that this was going to be nothing more than Benghazi 2.0. Okay, along with Hunter Biden's laptop and all the nonsense, scandals involving that. Look, the thing is, they're not doing this so they can nail Biden. Now you might think, well, no, wait a minute. No, that's their number one priority. Get Biden and get the FBI. No. What this is, because they know the end result is that nothing is going to happen. No recent modern president, not even Donald Trump, had been removed for the stuff that he engaged in. Okay? So, no, they know that these investigations are just not, they're not going to amount to anything. And that's the point. This provides a distraction for Republican voters, so that these people in office will not have to do anything. Are any of these investigations? Is this involved with any of the campaign promises that Republicans made in the midterms in order to retake the House? I guess some of them, yeah. Oh, we're going to go after Biden, and we're going to go after the laptop. But Republican voters, is this actually helping you deal with inflation? Is this bringing down the cost of food and fuel? Is this making your life in any way materially better? Is this bringing down the insane costs of housing and healthcare? No. And the reason, of course, is that the Republicans will never do anything that will impact the profits of the donors. And that's it. So what they're doing is distracting you with BS investigations that will lead to nothing. I'm very, very skeptical of any investigation, by the way, from pretty much any side at this point. Because look, Democrats have done investigations that led to nothing. Now, of course, there was a crucial difference there. Democrats did actually uncover crimes from the Trump administration. And then what happened? Nothing. Because at the end of the day, people who are powerful and wealthy never get held accountable, no matter what they do. Donald Trump was right. He could go and shoot somebody in Fifth Avenue, and he would never get in trouble for it. That's the unfortunate truth of this country. And so knowing this, then no one's ever going to be held accountable for anything. Why not do theater so it distracts people so that you also don't have to do anything substantial for the voters? It is all just theater.